Academia.
Hello and welcome to the 103rd episode of the My Hero Academia podcast. 103rd is 103 is kind of hard to say, but today with me is Gary.
Hey everyone.
Hey, and James.
Hello.
Sophie's not on this week, but we miss her, and I am sick, but I shall persevere. And now for a little bit of news, episode 86 of The Dub is coming out today. Woot woot. And I think that might be the episode when Jiro gets to sing, as that's the episode image they used on Funimation used on Twitter, but I haven't actually checked out the episode yet. I don't think you guys have yet either.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't on Toonami last night either. There was a delay with the episode, so they aired last week's episode on Toonami last night.
There are a few more Horikoshi doodles. Horikoshi has done like a few of, or he did one of Momo and Jiro, and then one of Jiro and Sue, which was very cute. And also, I think there's like an event where you can put cowboy hats on the people in One Justice.
Oh, they do like special tournaments, and you can unlock special items. And they do it like every weekend or so.
So I saw Tokoyami with a cowboy hat, and I was just like, what?
This needs to be canon, that's all.
Yeah.
Yes. Make it so. It's kind of ugly looking hat, though. And we're going to be going over chapter 270 today, and we'll be answering a few emails as well. Woo. And James, do you have the author comment up right now?
Yes, he said, Horikoshi said this week, I participated in having a drink online with a group of people. I was still working on my pages, though, so I couldn't drink.
It's nice to just have, like, a chit-chat, I guess.
Yeah.
Someone buy Horikoshi a beer.
It'd probably make the chapter more interesting.
Yeah.
Or more squiggly lines, maybe? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. We're just gonna start seeing like beer cans pop up everywhere.
The beer can hero.
Yeah, Stuff Man.
I was that one guy, the Compass Kid on Vigilantes that I was just like so obsessed with. I don't know if you read the Vigilantes chapter, but
it's really good.
Yeah, the Compass Kid's like an average dad type.
Yeah, his like belly is sticking out.
Yeah, I was like, yes.
I relate.
Yeah. But yeah, like Vigilantes is really good right now. So check it out. Are we ready to segue into the chapter, or is there anything else you want to get out of the way?
Nope, I think we're good.
Woo. So let's start 270.
This is my hero academia.
Now to start off, chapter 270, Inheritance. And we see President Mike lugging around the doctor in a very, like, awkward fashion. Kind of, like, holding him by his, like, his shoulders. That's not how you do the fire.
He's, like, dragging him. He's just, I don't understand how, like,
I guess,
that's
like,
not how you're supposed to pick people up at all.
But this is not a rescue. This is him being like, fuck you, you're coming with me.
I guess so.
Yeah, and he says, the Nomu follow your commands, yeah? Call off the ones rampaging out there. Get up, you're coming with me. And he's just kind of like, you get Shigaraki, Exilus. And Exilus is like, okay, got it. And he's kind of like shaking Shigaraki or something. He has his hands on him, and there's a room. And he looks over and he sees that a machine is like making a noise inside there. And he's like, what's that machine? The tubes must have shielded it from damage. And he's like, I think like he kind of realizes, okay, I better destroy it just to be safe. And President Mike is still running.
running.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and no problem. And the doctor starts monologuing, saying, 70 years ago, the world mocked me and my theories. My paranormal singularity theory. They said it was irrational nonsense based on weak evidence. Everyone ignored me. And it's kind of interesting now, like, we've seen the Doctor a lot recently with a lot of, like, comedic faces. So it's kind of cool to see his, like, eyes shaded again and kind of, like, the mystery factor. And he continues, in those days, when the world was struggling to end the turmoil and reclaim peace, nobody wanted to hear about another terrible collapse in the far-off future. And I really like, President Mike is pissed. I thought at first he was looking to the side, like, at us, but he's kind of like, ugh. And now I can't tell, is this President Mike talking, or is this the doctor?
I think it's still the doctor.
Well, it looks like the speech bubbles are coming from President Mike, though.
Mm-hmm.
Usually if they're off camera, it would be Circle. I think, well, Caleb mentioned this, that, like, Mike was there when we first saw the quark singularity theory discussed, so it quite possibly could be him talking.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that...
Since we did mention Caleb, we should say you can follow him on Twitter at CDCubed. He's official translator.
Yes. I will say that Horikoshi kept the detail of President Mike's cracked glasses.
Yes, I thought they were like vein. He does have the eye veins as well, but I do love the crack in the glasses. They're probably gonna shatter at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So I would almost say it's the doctor talking, just because I don't think that President Mike would like get into conversation.
Yeah.
But then it is him talking later. So maybe it is President Mike, and he's saying, nowadays, the quark singularity theory is considered fringe thinking reserved for cults. The scholar who presented it went missing soon after. They said he died a few years ago. Oh, sorry. They said he died a few years later. He'd have to be over 120 years old at this point. And I do like the speech bubble is kind of cutting the panel in half, which is kind of cool. And says, right, of course. And we see the doctor, and we get a flashback of the doctor when he got erased, and he looked all old and fugly.
Okay, then I still don't know who's talking at this point. He said, oh yeah, it's the doctor. He says, I was ostracized with nowhere to live. In my wretched state, he was the only one who reached out. And he's still being dragged by Mike. And he says, with his overwhelming presence and Buddha-like smile, he appeared as a god incarnate walking among men. My quirk doubles my lifespan while sacrificing physical mobility, life force. I presented my quirk as an offering to him.
I just want to say, President Mike's thumb looks weird.
Yeah. Then he says, the quirk inside me now is just a duplicate of my original. And then we have Mike thinking back to Sukachi saying, could that be the same quirk that's kept all for one alive this long? Then the doctor says, you're Kurogiri's friend, aren't you? Back then, I really wanted to get my hand on erasure instead. And Mike is looking shocked at that statement. We see a really creepy pic of the doctor with no glasses. Yeah, just really creepy in general. And all along these panels, there's little boxes on the side, so I'll read those now. They say, for some reason, I suddenly got the feeling that I'd rather not be touching this creep. The disgust that I'm feeling is overwhelming my rage. Right now, I'm too close for comfort to something seriously revolting. And he's basically saying everything that, like, every reader ever is feeling about the doctor.
I just realized, I think the doctor is still crying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He weird. I don't know if it's probably like memories of All for One and how he made him feel.
Talk about weird. On the next page, it's just like bizarro land.
It's Salvador Dali, like on steroids. Yeah, so the next page is a double spread. It's Shigaraki standing on like a street corner because there's like street lights and stuff like that, but like all the buildings are like disintegrated and they're in the air, and there's a bunch of hands like not pointing, but they're like facing him.
They're all like kind of reaching out to him.
I was like, have y'all seen the anime ID Invaded?
No, but it's probably very similar.
Yeah, the visuals at least with like the floating buildings and stuff. Just kind of reminds me of that.
There's a hand that's like that's among the buildings, and I definitely think weirdly the one that's very shaded is All for One's hand. I'm pretty sure. And the other ones I would say are maybe his mom's hand. or his hand or his dad's or something, but
Yeah,
the shaded
probably
one's
his
definitely
family.
all for one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I didn't even count how many, but there's at least 15 floating around.
Yeah, that's a lot. I tried counting it too.
Yeah, I'm not in Waldo mode right now. Or where's Wally for our British listeners? Okay, so then the next page we have Shigaraki in this weird consciousness state that he's in, and he says, "Where am I?" And it's a beautiful shot of him with the absence of like any ink in his hair, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see somebody talking from off panel, and they say, "Daddy said all that stuff, but..." And then we see Shigaraki turn around, and he sees his sister. And she says, "Don't worry, I'm on your side, Tenko." And he says, "Hana?" And she says, "Sorry about that. I shouldn't have done that. I was the one who said it had to be a secret. Sorry." And she's like in like a crumbled like memory, sort of, but he is interacting with her.
Mm-hmm. It is very his hair. Every time he has to like turn his head around, it's really funny to me because his hair is like in the way, so he like can't see.
You can never see out of both eyes.
Yes.
And it's like very flowy.
I like it though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks cool.
We continue on. He says, "Oh, that, whatever. That stuff doesn't matter anymore." And I like the little visual he does where he puts his hand where his hair is, kind of like, I don't care. But we see a giant, or was it a giant woman? But
all I want to see. Anyway, go ahead.
But it's his. Oh, that's his mom, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Says, "Tenko, do you still want to be a hero?" And he whips his neck over, and she says, "You've rubbed your eyes all ragged. It'll only get itchier if you keep scratching." And then we see him as a child, and he says, "I'm okay now, Mom." And we get another person that says, "Tenko, did you sneak into my study?" And then this really creepy like picture of him turning around again. Ooh, he's still a child in that image.
Yeah.
And we see his dad's hand about to clasp over him, where Shigaraki puts his tiny little hands over it and just disintegrates it all. And this is where you see his hair turn white too in that scene. Which is interesting. And then another one, which I believe it's all for one, saying, "Tomura." And he says, "Master, you're looking like Kurogiri." He's saying, "To me now." And then we sort of get back into reality a bit, and we see it says completion status 75%. So I'm guessing the computer's still going at this point. And we see the doctor saying he foresaw his downfall and entrusted all he had to his successor. He even chose to pass on his quirk. So just like I once did for him, he took a duplicate of his quirk for himself and gave the original to Tomura Shigaraki. And we see an image of Shigaraki walking closer to All for One. And we get a grab. We see a couple hands grabbing him, and it says stop. And it's all his family grabbing him, trying to stop him from walking forward. And we see one go towards his face. This is "Tenko, don't ever forget." And then at this shot, we get it's Nana saying, "Don't ever forget."
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell if that's whose face that is in that panel. Is that Nana's face?
I thought it looks like Deku's face.
It looks like Deku's, yeah, but there's like a covering on the side. I don't know if that's Deku.
I don't. Oh,
This abstract is very strange. That's all I'm gonna say. It's hard to describe what's going on, but
I think it's Shiggy.
Man,
I don't know.
I want to say it's Nana, but
I don't think so. It doesn't look like her. Like the eyes really don't. Unless it was her as a kid.
Because I'm looking at him back a couple panels on page.
It's not the
11.
same eyes, yeah.
It's but you don't really see like the bags under his eyes or whatever you call them.
Yeah, this is very hard to describe. It's just basically Shigaraki's walking towards All for One, and his family is trying to stop him. And
oh, I just want to say one thing. I really like that his mom is holding him by like choking him basically.
Yeah.
And I do love that. I think Caleb also pointed out that it is like where the position is where all the hands of where he puts them. And
Yeah.
like it's got like symbolism of kind of like what he was carrying around before. I would say though that I think it's just him. Like I don't think those are Nana's hands on top.
Yeah. But it's
Like
very
I mean,
interesting.
I think it's just symbolism. But sorry, keep going.
Yeah, but we do get a close up of his face after that panel, and he whooshes him away and says, "Enough," with the slap of a hand too. He just kind of just like, nope. He rejects all that. And we get another shot of him walking towards All for One, which is just like a black silhouette, kind of in the shape of a cross. I guess kind of like an embrace, more of an embracement, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Don't reject who I am." As we see an image of the actually is Nana kind of disappearing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then we pop back into reality again.
I guess who do you think is saying "Don't reject who I am"? I guess it's both like the blackness is saying it. So is that all? That's All for One, I guess.
I think
I'm
so.
wondering.
Like, because I thought the speech bubble was actually pointing towards Nana.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But this is very strange to explain. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we pop back into reality here. We see Shigaraki still on the ground, and Exless kind of has his hand on him still, and we see with one of the cables for some reason. And I guess it shocks him because he just starts to jolt, kind of like arching back. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, no, I didn't understand it till just now because I was so confused by what was happening. But
Yeah, the water is hitting the body. Oh,
yeah.
no. But we see him arch back, Shigaraki arch back, and then we pan out to the city, where we see Todoroki and Bakugo and all of them out there, and we see Deku kind of stop in one panel, and he says to himself, "He's coming. He's coming." And that's the end of that chapter.
Dun dun. Boom.
Oh, la, he coming.
Yeah. Here he comes. He's a man eater. She's a man eater. But do you want to go through our thoughts? I might just go first. Like,
Sure.
it was cool. I would like the bit with the doctor talking to President Mike was like interesting. It was kind of like reaffirming stuff we already kind of knew a little bit, and then like the reveal that they were actually after Eraser is really interesting. After Eraserhead is really interesting. Just because, like, how long were they watching them? How much of it was, like, on purpose? Like, there's a lot of questions there. I also think, like, President Mike isn't really thinking clearly. Like, but I guess he thinks that if he just tells Anomu to stop, they'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mind Palace stuff makes me think of Inception, or, like, I think the I Invader, or what you're saying.
Well, ID invaded, but that's kind of like a subconscious thing they go into.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really interesting just because it's kind of like... I really like that he actually really genuinely he doesn't hate Hannah for what happened.
Yeah.
Like, that's really nice, and it's like, it actually takes his mom to make him feel just like a kid again. And then, like, even says, like, "I'm okay now, Mom." He's, like, trying to reassure her. And then what brings out the after fact is the dad. And then, like, the way the dad is kind of replaced by All for One. There's a lot of, like, I don't even know.
There is, because I was even going to say, in that scene where his dad comes back, his mom starts to disappear, too.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
It's kind of like there's three forces in his head, basically. And it does kind of raise the fact, like, is there any way that he could become a hero again? Like, I've kind of joined the redemption for Shigaraki parade, even though he's an awful person. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like, and he completely rejects it here, but that, I don't know, those, like, don't ever forget and the don't reject who I am, I feel like it's going to come into play again. I don't think this is the end of it. Mm-hmm. And I am very interested in that panel of the Deku lookalike. I almost wanted to go through and try to see if there's a panel of Deku that looks like that, or to reread the Shigaraki flashback. But sorry, go ahead.
Like, there's that little piece of paper in front of him. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if that's when he was looking at that photo.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
When he first sees Nana, basically, as like a hero. I think you're 100% right. So it's just like, it's all very interesting. I think my favorite panel, I know like the hand imagery is really, really cool, but my favorite one is actually the Shigaraki getting shocked awake, because it was purely an accident. And like not playing on anyone's part. And then I'm just glad to see Deku again, but like I just keep thinking like shit is going to go down, and it keeps kind of like getting pushed back a little bit. But I've talked a lot. Gary, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I will comment quickly on that picture of Shigaraki getting jolted awake. I thought he was like falling again and landing on his head when I first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes way more sense.
Yeah, like the first time I saw it, I didn't get it. And I didn't get why Cyclops dude was like holding his hand really weird. But it's because I think he just kind of got like shooken off by that.
Right. I think he for sure is gonna die. I did like the chapter. Like, I'm not gonna judge it based on the abstract side of it, if that makes any sense. But I like the artistic expression that Horikoshi was allowed here, and like, I really like the crumpled up buildings and his sister Hana in the study and stuff like that, with it all crumbling behind her. And it's obviously it's a little symbolic of his past kind of finally melting away almost, or deteriorating, so he can move on from it, even though he hasn't known it for very long. But I can see how that would hold him back in a way. I did guess, it might have been our last episode, that Shigaraki received All for One's power, so we got clarification of that. So I'm glad to get that clarified, and he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. It's going to be wild.
I guess like the way the doctor was saying it sounded like he put it in him right away, but it's more like okay, I know I'm gonna go down soon, so I'm gonna set aside this vial with my quirk in it, so use this for later.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's what it is. Sorry, go.
No, it's your turn. Like, anything else you wanted to say before we move on to James?
No, I think that's about it. I think I'm good.
James.
All right. Since you were talking about the redemption stuff, and I was thinking like this could literally just be Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. It's kind of the vibes I got, with a little bit of The Last Jedi mixed in. And we know Horikoshi likes Star Wars, so I wonder if he does get a redemption. This last arc is literally just Return of the Jedi. But besides oh my god, the art was so good. A lot of hands to draw.
It feels very cinematic too. Like, it feels like a movie.
Yeah, that's why I had a hard time trying to describe through with it. I was like, this would look way better animated. I mean, it looks great because you can follow through with it, but trying to like talk as you go through it is kind of difficult. There's so many little things in each panel that like you kind of miss in a way, and that might be a little shiggy. I think you're all right, Gary. But other than that, there's really not much I can say, honestly, other than just like the whole abstractness of it is weird. And like I said, this is a lot of Star Wars vibes are coming out of this for me.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's just kind of interesting. We get like a little bit of explanation how the doctor met All for One. And like, I hope we get to actually see a little bit of that. And because like, it feels like we're starting to get like a bit of a like timeline, so it makes me like want to go back and like cross-reference like different like times that we know. Because I wonder how long All for One had been around for when he met the doctor.
Yeah.
But we don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, I really dread what Shiki's gonna do next chapter. I just want it to be and also we still have like Hawks to worry about too. Hawks and Tokoyami are fighting Dabi. So like, there's a lot of balls in the air.
Yep. This is a crazy chapter. I'll just say that, just because
Yes.
the more I keep rereading it, the more I keep thinking other stuff. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, and I do wonder about Deku's Spider-Man sense.
His Deku tingle.
His Deku. Oh my god.
I'm guessing it's like the vestiges talking.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that makes
I was kind of thinking it was Deku thinking like Sensing, but I like the vestiges are like, watch out, watch out, watch out. So I don't know. And I think do we want to look at what Sophie sent in? Or Sophie asked us some questions or just had her comments.
Right.
So Sophie says, I don't know if I like this chapter. I think I'll love it as an arc read through, but on its own, I don't know. The art is spectacular, page 6 to 7 in particular. It gave me MC Esquire vibes. Escher? Is that an author?
It's an artist. Crazy Stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it made me start to think he might go back on his murderous ways for a page or two, then threw it back in my face, lol. That's the thing, is that like I almost wonder if it is like it's kind of playing around, so I don't know. And she's afraid for Eraserhead and his converted quirk, so like they might be going after Eraserhead because he is pretty close. And she says, "Fuck Exless the fool. He's kind of just like useless." I don't know, just like I wonder when President Mike said like you take Shigaraki, did he mean take him out of here or kill him? Or what did he actually, I need to actually look back.
Probably didn't mean kill him because they don't do that as heroes.
Yeah, but also
it's just like take care of him. I don't know.
Or no, he says you get Shigaraki. So I think that is saying like you carry him out. Because like at the moment, as far as I know, he didn't have a pulse. And then Sophie says on page 18, Shigaraki has been practicing his yoga bridge pose. So that's when he's doing like the arc.
Yeah.
Thing. She says, I hope we get to see the kids again soon. Disappointed that Bakugo was shouting at an elderly person and child in the first panel. Sorry, we've seen him in ages. The angry wanker. And that's like, I really think Bakugo needs to get better at that aspect of being a hero. But I guess that's going to take time. Ochiko's just kind of floating around looking for stuff. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know who's behind Bakugo. There's like a head blob.
It's the Muppet character.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite character. I don't know, the art is like spectacular. And I really like I think I said it before, but kind of the Doctor kind of being like comedic and then reminding us again that like, no, this guy's scary as hell. And this is not the end of Shigaraki, but it might be the end of everyone else around him. Do. And now we're gonna jump into emails. We got an email from Elizabeth, and she says, "Hello, it's Elizabeth. Okay, so about the backstory thing, because in case you guys missed it, you should definitely check out during the break, during the week of no chapters, we put out 2 special episodes talking about characters that we would want to be quarantined with and characters who, people
best
that we
friends.
want back, what?
Like the 5 best friendships.
Oh yeah, the 5 best friendships and the 5 people we think deserve backstories. And she puts forward, I think I would like a Bakugo backstory. You know how we saw how it was with Todoroki as a kid? I want to see that about Bakugo. I think it'd be pretty cool. I might be a bit of a downer person here, so let's hear what you guys have to say about that.
I feel like if we took it from an angle of why is he such a jerk?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know we've seen, like, he just didn't like the fact that Deku felt like he was superior to him in a sense. But I want to see a little bit more of that because he was like a jerk before that too. Obviously that comes from his mom. So I kind of want to see more home life, like not Deku related, of him and how he really got into like idolizing All Might. a little more like we did like Deku, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it from that angle. He definitely has had a lot of backstory, but not as much as Deku. So I can kind of see where this is coming from.
James, do you have any thoughts?
Oh man, yeah, I think I would like something just separate from Deku because every time there's a flashback, it's always with him and Deku. So it's just like he's kind of like, how do I say? I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but like something just on his own, like just his own backstory by himself, not with any other characters, not with Deku involved. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You know that him and his childhood with Deku, they're always involved together, so it's kind of hard to say like for a good backstory like that. But
I guess for me, my downer opinion is like we already know Bakugo was a jerk as a kid. We don't need to see more. But I kind of thinking about it, I did really like when Bakugo was captured and the League was like trying to get him to ally with them, and Bakugo like saying, "I just like All Might's or like All Might's like I don't know. I really like All Might's triumph. I forget what the actual line is, but." And just seeing like a really excited Bakugo like looking at All Might. I think there's another flashback later with like Bakugo and Deku both like looking at an All Might card and being like, oh. So kind of seeing like how that admiration for All Might somehow completely missed everything that All Might stands for. And like none of the niceness behind it, because like he genuinely doesn't understand kindness. Because Deku was nice to him. He fell down. He's like, "Oh, I'll help you get up." And instead of being like, "Oh, thank you," it's just like, oh, "You look down on me." So like, I guess I am interested. Like, I think like the mom stuff isn't really subtle, especially when like he basically repeats her word for word when he says like, "Why was I the cause of All Might's end?" Or like I was weak, or like all that kind of stuff. And like we did get that with him talking to Todoroki and saying like, "Oh, that's just how I was raised." So that would be interesting to explore a little bit of like how fucked up your parents can be and like how it rubs off on you, and like you basically like try to fight against it, and just like it's a whole muddy puddle. And also Todoroki trying to like change or like and not be different than his father, which is a kind of the same thing for Shigaraki. So it all kind of like parents are definitely a running theme in this series of fucked up parenting. So I kind of actually would like a Bakugo story, but I just worry he would have to like die for us to get it, or him to play a bigger role in this fight, in this final, or not final arc, but like showdown.
At the very least, I want to see him practicing All Might's face when he wins in the mirror or something like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because we've seen Deku do impersonations, so I want Bakugo to do it too. Oh, I would like it if like Bakugo finally apologizes to maybe get a flashback there of kind of seeing.
Yeah, because a lot of time has already passed since that too. So I'm like, is it like? I don't want to say it's never too late to apologize for something, but like it feels like as more time goes on, I'm just like, quit waiting so long,
I could see it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I could see it as him like rescuing Deku from a situation and just it finally clicking to him what Deku was doing, and it not being condescending or anything like that, and then getting a flashback of like their childhood, and then seeing it correlated to present and then finally clicking and apologizing. That's how I could see it going down. I don't know.
Because like the reason I bring up apologies, I think like there's a interview with Horikoshi where he's talking about Bakugo, and he's saying something like, "Oh, he hasn't apologized yet," and I was just like, "Oh, does that mean it's gonna happen?" I think we saw like a shot of a little kid at one point. I wonder if maybe they're gonna like rescue that kid, and like Bakugo and Deku like see themselves in him or something. I don't know. So who knows? I'm excited to see the kitties again. Who knows if we'll be with them there for long? I do wonder, like, is Deku gonna have to, like, run over and fight Shigaraki? It does, like, feel they're very much on, like, different levels, even more so than before.
I'm still holding out on my Palpatine theory where Shigaraki and Deku join forces to defeat All For One.
Ooh!
He somehow escapes or something and becomes the bigger enemy.
Because I definitely think, like, the pros should handle it. But, like, I don't know, I hope all the pros don't get, like, wiped out. But who knows? Like, I don't want to get too theological stuff. But instead, we have a question from Liam Tasker, who emailed in saying, "Hi, myheropod. If Vigilantes doesn't get animated, do you think we could see Aizawa's flashback incorporated into the main anime?" That's what I really hope so, because I feel like otherwise it's going to feel really weird.
Yeah. I mean, they like touch on it, but it's not to the depth that we saw in Vigilantes. I really want them to do like a filler episode dedicated to that. Season 4 didn't have any fillers that I remember. So...
I would want like a whole OVA at least just to cover the entirety of that flashback because it's a few chapters long.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. That'd be a good idea.
Because it does make me think of Black Clover when in the manga they had some characters from like a light novel or something come into like being really important. And I don't know how the anime of Black Clover handled that, but I feel like they kind of have to. But I don't know if Vigilantes is going to get animated in this economy. I would love it to. Like, I think it deserves it. But even then, Vigilantes would take a while to get there.
Yeah, it's about, 60-odd chapters before we get to that flashback in Vigilantes. So it's just like, that's a whole year's worth of content. And if they do it season by season, then that's like at least 2 to 3 years before they would ever get to that part.
Yeah. So I think they might just add, I don't think they'll add the whole flashback in, but they might just show us a little bit more of like kind of getting us to know Shirakomo.
Yeah, I was like, I want more Shirakomo. Just give me all the Shirakomo content.
And also like Dream Shigaraki saying that All For One kind of looks like Kurogiri is really interesting because it's kind of like we saw that kind of cloudiness when Deku was having his like vestiges thing. So maybe it is that because he passed on his original quirk that there is a little bit of him in it. Because I think
it makes sense.
Yeah, I think a few weeks ago I went on this really weird brain trip when I was just like, what if All For One is considered one of he's like a wielder? Because he had like the storage quirk and then he passed, he had the strength stockpile and he passed that on. So that stockpile was passed on, but maybe a bit of it stayed. This is me getting too much mumbo jumbo, and I'm also just like the copy and quirks thing is really weird, just because it wasn't Dabi doing it. It seems to be like science doubling quirks somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a mystery, but on a little bit of a happier note, we did get a really cute, I think it was a front page of Jump when it had the celebrating, what do you call it, Children's Day in Japan. And they're all holding these like fish flags.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like it. The one that Deku's holding kind of looks like, it has like All Might colors a little bit. Blue and yellow?
Yeah, there's blue, red, yellow in it.
So if All Might was a fish, he'd look like that.
It's funny because like almost everyone looks like a kid except for Hinata from Haikyuu.
Yes.
Luffy's is just all like splatter painted on.
Yeah.
And Luffy's looks like it's drawn by a certain character in blah 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 One Piece. I also can't get over the one of the guys from Astro Boy is like inside the flag, and I was like, how tiny is he supposed to be?
Yeah, I will say you can tell the one that Senku has an engine in it.
Oh my god, I didn't even look see him.
Yeah.
But
cute.
I don't know. It's a very, very cute. I keep wanting to say color page, but it's just like the front of Jump.
Yeah.
And I think that's all she wrote. Any other thoughts on the chapter?
No.
Oof. Here's hoping that Shigaraki doesn't kill everyone. Okay, that's a fun note to end on. But Gary, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Wrath of Giraffe.
Nice. And James?
You can find me at That One Welder Guy. I also have a Dr. Stone read-through podcast, the Kicking Stones podcast. You can find that at Dr. Stone Pod. And the Weeb Jammin' podcast, which I don't know when we're recording our Fooly Cooly episode, but it's coming out soon.
Nice.
You can follow that at Jammin' Weeb.
You can follow me on Twitter at Sniper of My Heart, and you can follow Sophie on Twitter at Chopper's Antlers, and you can follow the podcast on Twitter at MHAPod, and you can send us your emails, your thoughts, your theories, or just like general questions at myheropod@gmail.com. I might have already said that. And you can see our website at www.mhapod. Basically, if just scream MHAPod into the world and we will come to your rescue. Maybe, because we are all in separate countries, except some of us aren't. I do not know. But basically, everybody put your hands up and go beyond.
Plus
Ultra.
Ultra.